How to get more views on YouTube. Coming right up. People have been requesting this video for a long time. Recently, someone in our Facebook group, Jody Fanon, specifically asked, do you have a tutorial for how to get views an updated way? People have been asking for this video for years, and I've been putting it off because the thing is, success on YouTube has so many parents. Failure is an orphan, as they say. It's like you need to do at least 100 small technical things right to really succeed on YouTube. And so there's just so much to cover. And there are so many different ways to get views on YouTube. I'll cover some of the top most important ways that I think are worth focusing some of your time on to get more views on YouTube. The first one, and I think the most important one, is understanding search engine optimization. This is creating videos, the subject, and having titles and descriptions and tags and saying things and captioning things with keywords that are searchable. So what you need to do well with search engine optimization is think about what your audience might be typing into YouTube to find a video like yours, or to find a channel like yours. It's when you start thinking about that and then you start crafting your videos around that, even if it's not necessarily the subject of the video that you tweak for that, but it's the title, the description, and the tags. Those three are very important, and that's how people get views while they snooze. If your video is bringing in traffic from search and recommended because its title, description, and tags has been optimized to try and get those views, this is sort of a passive strategy. You do the work up front, and then you realize the benefits over years after. If your title is searchable, and it also appears in your description and your tags, then you have a higher chance that your video will get views simply by people searching for that term. I have a trilogy of videos on SEO, search engine optimization, here on this channel that I strongly suggest you check out. We've got one focusing on titles, one on description, and one on tags. Go check those out, and those will take you through specific examples and show you how to improve those three things for search engine optimization, so you can get the views while you snooze. Another important tool for that is TubeBuddy. In fact, if you want views, just get TubeBuddy. It can help you in so many different ways. I'm sure I'm going to mention it several times in this video. The way that I'm thinking of at the moment is Keyword Explorer. Understanding what search terms have a high search volume and a low competition. You want lots of people looking for what you've got, and you don't want to be fighting with a bunch of other people to get those eyeballs. And so TubeBuddy can help you identify which terms fit that criteria, and it actually gives it a score so you can compare different terms. Makes it very easy and saves you tons of time. Even the free version of TubeBuddy has this, so check out the affiliate link and at least go get the free version. Let's assume that your title, description, and tags are now on point. The next thing you're going to want to focus on is your thumbnail. Thumbnails are absolutely critical. It is one of the largest factors that someone uses to decide whether or not they're going to click on your video and get you that view. Having good SEO gets you appearing in search results. That's great, but if people aren't clicking on you in those search results, you're not home yet. So how do you know what's a good thumbnail? It drives me nuts. I see it on Reddit and Twitter and in our Facebook group all the time. Someone says, how can my thumbnails be better? Or what do I need to improve my channel? And they say, just make better thumbnails, bruh. That's not helpful. No one is out trying to make bad thumbnails. That's not a thing. If you want to succeed on YouTube, you're trying to make good thumbnails. So, wow, great thing I ran into you. I didn't know I was supposed to make good stuff. I thought I was supposed to make crap. Nobody's thinking that, and so you're not being helpful, people. When all you say is, oh, be better. Make better content, make better thumbnails. What does better mean? All the value in that advice exists in the word better. And so let's unpack that, because better on its own tells you nothing. One thing that's important to understand, particularly if you're out there asking for advice about your thumbnails, is that better can be subjective. Every niche, every audience, every country can be a little different in how they respond to different pictures and text in a thumbnail. So one thing that is consistent is having text that is readable. If you have text, try to make that as easy to read as possible. Using things like an outline or a drop shadow, putting a box behind it, using high color contrast, and using block fonts that scale well. A font I recommend is Bebas or Bebas New. They're both free. You can simply Google them to find them. It's completely free and it reads really well, whether the thumbnail is huge or it's shrunk down really small on your mobile device. So that's one thing, is having a good font that's pretty consistent. And what makes a good font is sort of a block font that's easy to read with high contrast. Things like cursive and brush script might be nice, they might look nice, but they're harder to read. And so I recommend against that, regardless of what your channel is. Unless your channel is teaching cursive writing, then I would say go for a block font. That's generic, general advice that I think applies to everyone. But in terms of what kind of thumbnails you should have, people say, oh, look shocked, or just be attractive, or show some skin, or stuff like that. Sometimes people will give that as generic advice, but that's not going to work with every audience. I'm personally sick of the shocked face, and I use it myself because it works sometimes for certain subject matter. Like, you know, if it's something where I'm revealing like the secrets of YouTube and it's kind of a surprise, that's an appropriate face to use. But it's not for everything. If you are making a tutorial about how to unclog a toilet, I don't know that a shocked face is necessarily going to work. For one thing, the shocked face could easily be misinterpreted as, this went wrong. I tried to unclog my toilet and made a bigger problem. If you've got a clogged toilet and that's a problem you want to solve, watching somebody flail and fail at it is no good for you. So it's important to understand what works for your audience, not for a generic audience, and what works in your niche, for your subject matter. So how do you do that? How do I unpack better? How do I find out what's better and what's worse for my channel? There's a couple of different ways you can do it. The easiest way, the best way, is using TubeBuddy. I said I would mention it again, and here we are. Affiliate link down below. Now, this is a paid function. The previous functions I was talking about were in the free model. This is actually something you will have to invest some money in. You want to get legend level TubeBuddy, and there's two critical tools to improve your thumbnails. One is called Click Magnet. It will have something called an element inspector, where it will analyze a bunch of your thumbnails and it will determine what elements in the thumbnail work best for your content and your audience and your channel. So what kind of things does it look for? Do you have text or no text? It will tell you what works better. If text works better, it will show you what words seem to get more clicks. So, you know, sometimes there's synonyms. I went on a trip, a vacation, a cruise. Which word are people more likely to click on? How do I know? This is one of those ways. Should I be in my thumbnail, or should I be a no-face channel? That's a question we get all the time in our Facebook group, and TubeBuddy can tell you what works for you. So it'll tell you whether your face appearing or not appearing gets more clicks. And not only that, much like the text, it goes into a deeper dive and it will talk about the expression on your face. Is the shocked face the right way to go for your channel? There you go. Maybe it's something a little bit more severe. Maybe you're a rant channel and just angry face is great. You know, who knows? There could be a lot of different things. You could be talking about maybe mental health disorders or something. And so, you know, an overexpressive face might not be appropriate to the content. Who knows? So if you're talking about depression, having a less excited face could be more thematically appropriate. How do you know these things? Element Inspector in Click Magnet in TubeBuddy. As if that's not enough, it'll tell you about whether you should be there, what you should be doing with your face, if you should have words, and what those words should be. It will also tell you what kind of shot to use. Should it be a close-up shot that shows maybe like if you're a makeup tutorial channel, which this is clearly not, or you're like a hair channel, you know, close-ups on the hair, close-ups on the face and the makeup could be the absolute right thing to do. Or if your audience responds to a lot of emotion, being able to see the emotion up close could get you more clicks. Who knows? TubeBuddy knows. Or could it be a medium shot? Maybe you're talking to someone else. And so if it's something where you were maybe known for having good banter with your co-host, maybe a medium shot with two people is the right thing. If you're a travel channel like my channel, Vacation Impossible, and this is what Element Inspector told me, is that it does better with wide shots that I'm not in. Because people are interested in travel, not me, and that's what it's all about. So we will show them a picture of the Virgin Islands, not with my head blocking half the islands. And it also told me what, for my channel, text is better, and it told me what words do better. And so when I've taken that advice in my thumbnails, my click-through rate, otherwise known as CTR, that's the percentage of people who actually click on the thumbnail whenever it's seen, goes up. When that goes up, the magic really starts to happen and gets you those views. Why is that important? YouTube wants to keep people on the platform. So if people click on your thumbnail and then watch your video for a good view duration, it's doing its job. It's keeping people on the platform like it wants to do. So if we're good partners with YouTube, YouTube sort of rewards us by giving us more impressions. So the more people that click on the thumbnail shows that people are interested in the video. And then hopefully you get some view duration. Another important TubeBuddy tool is the A/B testing. This is another legend level function where you can have two different thumbnails and it will go back and forth and test which one gets more clicks. And it'll do this over, I think, a minimum 10-day period, and it'll give you the results. This one got 5% more clicks. This one got 20%, whatever that might be. And so after you've used the element inspector with Click Magnet and tried these different things, you can come up with a couple variations and test them out over time. And the great thing is that you can change your thumbnail with reckless abandon on YouTube. You're not risking algorithmic momentum when you change the thumbnail. That's one thing you can change, no problem. And so you can use this testing and really figure out what thumbnails work well. What kind of, like, even beyond what element inspector will tell you, should I have an outline? Should I have high color saturation? You know, other questions like that, a consistent look, whatever that might be. And so those two tools combined can be game changers. If your CTR goes up, your views will shoot up. Not only will your views go up, but the algorithm will reward you with more impressions. So if you can get that CTR up, that's fantastic. Another thing that helps you get views is getting more recommendations and higher in search results in the algorithm. And so we've talked about some of the ways of doing that with SEO and your thumbnails. Another important dimension of that is audience retention. If you can keep the audience watching longer so that you get more anticipated watch time, that's one of the most important metrics behind the scenes in the algorithm, then your video can do a whole lot better and will probably get a lot more impressions, and that leads to more views. How do you do that? You keep the video engaging. You can have different graphics and editing come through. If you've made a mistake, if there's a long pause where you feel like William Shatner, you can edit that out so people don't get bored and click away. Those things can keep people engaged. You can also use music to keep your videos engaging for the ears. You can use a service like Epidemic Sound. We've got an affiliate link down below where you can try it free for a month, where you can use background music and sound effects to really liven your video and punch it up. And since we're talking about sound, you also want to make sure that your audio quality is as good as possible. Before you can even concern yourself with the image quality, audio quality comes first. One of the number one reasons that people will click off of a video is because they don't like the way it sounds. It might be giving them a headache. It could be irritating. They could be straining to hear. The music's too loud. I can't make out the words. Forget this. I'm moving on. And so some of the ways that you can do that is you can get yourself a microphone. I've got a couple that I recommend down below. Fine and Blue Snowball are both fantastic. There's also lapel mics you can get. There's good and bad ones. We've got some reviews on this channel, so check it out. We'll show you the good and the bad. We do testing of those microphones. Also, if you have a consistent background noise, you can remove it for free using Audacity. And we've got a tutorial on this channel that'll show you how to do it for free and fast. I use it on all my videos to make sure the audio is crisp. If you've got air conditioning or a heating system or a fridge or a fan or a computer, something that's making a constant noise, a hum, even if you don't know what it is, but you want it gone, Audacity can remove it for free. It's easy and it just takes like a minute. That is also part of how you can keep your audience engaged. And for more on that, TubeBuddy has an opportunities finder on its website where it can look at your videos and it will give you advice, for example, on when to put up an info card because maybe you're about to lose your audience. And so it'll say, oh, at this exact time point, put an info card up to suggest another video. So at the very least, you might lose them on that video, but you're going to keep them on your channel. That's another great TubeBuddy tool that you can use to improve your audience retention. We've talked about a lot of stuff that focuses on the YouTube platform. We've talked about the algorithm. We've talked about search engine optimization, thumbnails, audience retention, info cards, all that. How else can you get views? Well, strategic social sharing of your videos can be hugely effective. There are people in our Facebook group, again, facebook.com/group/smallYouTubersBoost. They get like 43% of their traffic from Reddit. And so places like Reddit and Twitter, they can sometimes be a little intimidating. So one of the things that we've done is on Reddit, we've created our own subreddit, Small YouTubers Boost, where you can go and you can kind of play like it's a sandbox and you can see what works and what doesn't. If I share a link versus putting a link in a text post, how does that look? How does it show on the main screen for the subreddit? Stuff like that. And the thing is, Reddit and Twitter can be kind of rough. People can be kind of harsh in their criticism, and rules in subreddits around spamming are sometimes impossible to follow. I once joined a subreddit where they had 2 rules. 1, only share content you've made yourself. 2, no self-promotion. If you can tell me how to do that in the comments, you're a smarter person than me. I will give your channel a shout out in a future video, or at the very least on our community tab. If you can explain to me how I can only share things I made but not self-promote simultaneously. I was banned from that subreddit in 14 seconds. I set the land speed record, I think, possibly. Call the Guinness Book of World Records, people. I think I set the land speed record for getting banned from a subreddit. Reddit can be kind of intimidating and scary, especially when you hear stories like the one I just told you. I don't want to scare you off. I just want to tell you that you might want to take it with a grain of salt, for one thing. People can be really harsh in their criticism on those platforms, and so you need to have sort of a thick skin and realize, you know what? That's a Reddit comment. It's not the same thing as a Facebook comment where there are more rules of behavior around it. So that's just something to think about. One thing you can do, if you're not sure where to share things on Reddit, you might want to try and find a friendly subreddit, as I call them, a place where you can share your content without getting banned or getting in trouble or getting tons of hate. How do you find those? Well, if you have the TubeBuddy, again, affiliate link down below, I told you I'd keep talking about it because it's so helpful for so many things. If you have the TubeBuddy browser plugin installed, when you're looking at other videos, it has the Videolytics panel on the side. And there you can actually, just with one click, go see where that video has been shared on Reddit. That's useful for a couple of reasons. One, if the high-performing videos in your niche have not been shared on Reddit, there's a whole audience there that could be waiting, that you could capitalize on, that the big boys have forgotten about. And that's one of the ways that small YouTubers can have a competitive advantage against giant channels. So that's one thing. Another thing is for finding those friendly subreddits. If a video on a similar subject was shared in this particular subreddit, you can see how it was shared and how people reacted, and that might be a subreddit you might want to consider sharing your content in. Of course, you want to try and follow all the rules, but by seeing how other people have followed the rules, it kind of gives you a path forward. So use it for a competitive advantage. Use it to find friendly subreddits and use it to find out how to share. Now that's for Reddit. What about Twitter? Similarly, if you've got the TubeBuddy browser plugin installed with Videolytics showing up on the side, you can see where videos have been shared on Twitter. And so you can see what hashtags were used and how it was shared. Now, I'm not saying to copy and paste from people who are more successful than you, but allow it to inspire you. If the hashtag that they used equally applies to your video, then that's probably okay to use it. And so maybe they wrote some text around it, and so don't like copy that verbatim. Make it your own. But if you're not sure how or where to share on Reddit or Twitter, then Videolytics can show you how it's been successfully done by other people so you can do similarly and be inspired to do it your own way and find additional audience there. You can also share things on Facebook. That's always a good thing. Every video you should share at least once somewhere on Facebook. The Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group is a place where you can do that. Now, the group is more about learning and collaborating and commiserating and celebrating and things like that. So if you just share a random gaming video, you're probably not going to get a lot of views from our group for that kind of content. But if you find a group dedicated to that game, and if maybe you show a tutorial about how to earn in-game currency really fast, or you have a very funny scene or an epic kill or something like that, maybe you were playing multiplayer Bomberman against your friends and it was hilarious and you want to share a video of that. If you find a group about Bomberman or something like that, again, check those groups' rules before or after you join, and then if it's appropriate to share it, that's great. If you make videos that answer questions or solve problems, tutorials like this one, keep an eye out on whatever social media platform you're on that allows link sharing, and you might be able to offer it as a solution to a problem. And even more so than just sort of link dropping in a group that might be okay with it, if you can actually find people that are like, oh, in this game, Assassin's Creed or something, I'm having a lot of trouble getting in-game currency. And you can say, hey, I can show you how to do this, but watch the rules of the group. Like if the group allows you to comment links, go ahead, say, hey, here, this is how, watch this video, it'll show you. It's 90 seconds long. Good luck. Or, in Small YouTubers Boost, we have a rule that you can't comment a link unless someone asks for it. If your video is the solution to a problem, then you can offer it. You say, oh, I've got a tutorial that'll show you how to do this. My video will explain. Let me know if you want a link. Then if they, or anyone else watching, says yes, then you're probably okay to provide the link to them. And that can actually be a really important opportunity because When you drop a video in a group, you might get a view or two here and there, whatever. But when your video solves a specific problem for someone, you don't just get the view, you're more likely to get a like and a subscribe. Speaking of which, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. But if it's helpful to someone, then that has more meaning for them. And so they think, wow, that person actually solved my problem. Because of this video, because of this person, because of someone else making an effort, I'm in a better position now. I'm more equipped to solve a problem. I feel more confident. I'm more independent. I'm more successful. I'm happier. It made me laugh. I'm happy. Whatever it might be. And so that is where you start to form those deeper bonds with potential true fans. And those people could potentially go back and binge watch all your old content. And so they're more views. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about converting a view today into future views, reminding people to subscribe after you've provided some value. If you say right at the top, subscribe to my channel before you've said or done anything, that will probably hurt your retention. People will just go away. They'll click off the video. But if you provide value and then mention subscribing, as I did, you're more likely to get that subscription. And so that might get you some more views. Make it easy for your audience. People are lazy. That's why we need to do the work on the thumbnail. We need to do the work on the SEO. We need to do as much as we can to make the viewing experience easy for our audience and make it easy for them to watch more. So how do we do that? There's a couple things. I already mentioned info cards. So an info card is something that will pop up in the top when they're watching on desktop that they can click on if it's like a useful related video. If I'm telling you about my motivation video that helps you stay motivated on YouTube and take the next step in your YouTube journey, and you've been feeling kind of unmotivated and you don't want to take that next step and you have trouble getting out of bed just to work on YouTube, then that might speak to you and you know, I need to watch that. That could help me. That could be important. And so having the link appear in an info card, that can get you more views. Similarly, at the end of the video, there's something called end screens, where you have to, as a bare minimum, if you use that function, is have a video that somebody can click on. And so this is the last 20 seconds of a video. And you just go in, when you're uploading, you can choose to add the end screen, and you can select a specific video, or you can have the algorithm choose a video that they think from your channel that will be good for that particular viewer. And you can also have a subscribe button there as well. So you're going to want to do that where you make it as easy as possible for people to watch more of your videos. For example, I will have links down below to a lot of different helpful videos. Some I'll mention in this video, and some I might not. Like I've got a video on how to get your first or second 1,000 subscribers. That will be linked in the description. You don't have to hope it appears in the end screen or hunt for the info card. Just go down to the description and click it. Make it easy for people to watch your content. So those are just a few tips, but there are so many ways to get views on YouTube. You can run ads, you can collab with other people. There's so many other tips, but those I think are some of the most effective, most important to focus on for small YouTubers. So let me know in the comments, question of the day, what tips do you have? What do you think I left out? Because like I said, there's probably 100 different ways to get views. These are some of the most important. What did I miss? What do you think I should have covered? Let me know in the comments, and we'll probably end up doing an updated version of this or a follow-up video in the future with additional tips. So you're gonna want to subscribe with notifications on. Also, because we go live randomly on this channel, and we give free 30-minute channel reviews, but you gotta get there early. It's first come, first served. So have your notifications set to all. We'll see you possibly in the next live stream. So hopefully you can get a free 30-minute channel review. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.